Welcome back to Past Gas, everybody. Today is Tommykaira. We've heard of these guys. James drove one of their cars a couple years ago.
Tommykaira, sort of a lesser known, more deep cut automotive tuning brand. If you want to impress your friends at your next import party, listen to this episode, watch this video, because we're diving deep into a deep dive of Tommykaira.
There are some fascinating stories behind many iconic factory performance cars, their origins rooted in after-hours tinkering by passionate engineers. And then, there's those who love to tinker after the car hits the market. Names like Shelby, Saline, Roof, or Gambala. Each has its own storied history of either modifying enthusiasts' own vehicles or plucking barely assembled examples off the production line and completing them to their own specifications. But there's another brand that's often overlooked and has created some truly awesome versions of already renowned platforms like the Skyline GTR and Subaru WRX. Tommykaira. Formed by two friends in the 1980s, the story of Tommykaira blends passion, expression, and pushing performance boundaries. But how did they get started? What was their ethos? And what's this legendary name up to now? Well, we're gonna find out. This week on Past Gas, it's Tommykaira.
Past Gas Podcast. It's about cars, it's not about forts.
Big thanks to Indeed for sponsoring this episode of Past Gas. Listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PastGas. Just go to Indeed.com/PastGas right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/PastGas. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Big thanks to Fume for sponsoring this episode of Past Gas. Start the year off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/past and getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 10% off when they use my code PAST, that's PAST, to help start making the good habit that much easier. Thanks, Fume.
We were all formed by two friends in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, our parents.
Well, not Nolan.
Not me.
You were in the 90s.
93.
93, same years.
It's probably 92.
Probably it's when they formed you.
Yeah. Yeah, what were your parents' ethos when they were making you?
Well, I mean, it was similar to Tommykaira. Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Don't think about the
passion,
consequences.
expression, pushing performance boundaries.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of child's performance,
Yeah, what's going on over there?
What's going on over there?
he's kicking a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, we think he has big feet and legs.
We think he has big feet.
Well, every time we do the like ultra scan, is that what it's
Ultrasound?
called? Ultrasound.
Shouldn't you know this?
Dude, I'm already tired. I'm so tired.
This guy is getting to
babe.
me.
I'm already tired.
He's got just very defined feet and legs. And so we're like, best case scenario, he becomes an NFL kicker. Mm-hmm. He has a
swimmer, Olympic swimmer.
Oh yeah, big feet.
No, there's not a lot of money in swimming.
So you're already trying to cash in on this kid.
I'm already thinking about ways I could profit off my unborn
for
child.
sure, because he's already probably costing you money.
Not me.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, you could be an NFL kicker and get like a big $1 million contract and work for 25 years and not have brain damage.
Right.
That's a great situation.
Yeah, dude. Working for 25 years and not having brain damage is the goal.
Yeah. I worry about getting brain damage from just like walking in the garage.
Yeah,
and
like smelling stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chemtrails flying over us.
Sometimes dealing with you guys, I feel like I'm getting brain damage.
That voice you hear is James Pumphrey.
Oh, I make my own webs. That's my new catchphrase. I make my own webs like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
It's a gland thing, not a machine. That's what kind of Spider-Man I am. What kind of Spider-Man are you? Do you make your own webs, Greg? Or are you a machine man?
I'm like one of those alternate dimension Spider-Man that like is in the background of the movie.
Spider
Yeah,
Pig?
like
a Spider Pig,
somehow
Spider Punk.
flies around and you're like, how is that possible? And you're like,
Yeah.
I haven't read enough comics to know that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You do yourself. You're so humble. You're
Yeah.
top 3.
I don't know.
You're top 3 on this pod.
That's for sure. Yeah.
That voice you heard was Nolan J. Sykes.
Hi, this is my voice.
And I'm the guy that hasn't been mentioned yet, Joe Weber. Wow. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You're a host of the show.
Yeah, you host the show. You're on every
What are you
week.
talking about?
I just, our lunch came already.
Yeah.
I know it's just sitting on the counter getting
He's
cold
thinking
right now.
about
That's all I can
his
think about.
cheeseburger. Boys, posture is what I'm thinking about today.
Yeah.
Been thinking about. You know why? Because I've been wearing a lot of tucked-in shirts lately for
Have
various
you?
video bits.
Yeah.
And I feel like I caught myself in a window, walking with my. I saw my own
yeah.
posture in a window.
Yeah.
I
my
gestured to
stand-up.
Joe because
He's
Joe
referencing my
has a stand-up
stand-up.
bit about. It's very funny, but in a tucked-in shirt, it's even more accentuated your terrible posture.
Yeah.
So, and also watching clips of this very show back, I'm always like down here.
Oh, yeah. We're down here.
We're down here.
reading
We need to be engaged in that
here.
core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
Definitely.
And we can use our diaphragm
Lose our
to
diaphragm.
do bits better.
You notice how much better my voice sounds
Yeah.
when I stand up.
Yeah.
People in the comments are going to be like, please slouch again. You're annoying as
Slouch again, you're ruining my car
Yeah.
speakers.
Oh, I hope we get that first email.
Riley filmed me blowing up a bike tire with a pump this weekend.
Okay.
So emasculated. I look like such an idiot.
Yeah.
We all hunched over.
Yeah.
Going like this.
And the thing is, I was blowing up her bike.
Oh.
And she was like, I'm sending this to my group chat. You look like an idiot. I was like, she's like, added another ick to the list. I was like, damn.
See, I'm already doing it. I already curled up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick your belly
Belly's
out.
out.
I told her to pretend that I was a coyote trying to blow up a roadrunner.
That's pretty good.
And she was like, "Oh, actually, now that you mention it like that, well, let's go back inside." Meep meep. Roadrunners are fast. Tommykaira cars,
Yes.
fast.
And you've figured that out. You know that firsthand.
Yeah, I drove a Tommykaira R32 GTR back in the day when we were shooting
2018, I want to say.
Miracle
back then.
Whips. Yeah, 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
It's a cool car.
It's a cool car.
White one.
Yeah, it
Very
was white.
stylish. I really do like Tommykaira's style. That very like 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
wispy of the time
Are
style.
you talking about the
Yeah.
font?
Yeah, the
font's
font is
nice.
sick.
The font is like handwritten, scripty.
Yeah, like just white on white, super
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah, it's like that.
kind of a,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Style.
yeah. I got. Yeah.
Oh,
Skiing.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Ice Dragon.
ice
Getting
dragon.
the slopes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm in season 7 yet?
of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw a bar called the Seven Kingdoms,
oh God.
and I was like, I wonder what. Because the show had a bad ending,
Yeah.
are people discouraged? Do they feel discouraged to going to themed stuff like that?
I think they should be discouraged to go into theme stuff like that because it's dumb.
I mean, they might have good drinks though.
They might.
Might.
It's not like Harry Potter where they have a made up drink that you can be like, I tasted
They got-
butterbeer.
they
It's
got
like
mead
they
and
have
wine.
mead, which is
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, dragon blood. They probably
But
you
the
could have
hound
stuff.
drinks
They
them
got
down.
lots
You
of
You could
names.
have like a big, like what's a Welsh egg or something?
A Scotch
Scotch
egg.
Scotch egg.
Yeah,
Welsh
egg, hard boiled egg surrounded by sausage and then breaded and deep fried.
Yum. Not as good as you would think, though.
It sounds pretty.
Yeah,
gross.
because
Sounds
it's like
awesome.
It's like the egg is a little bland and it's just not like as flavorful as
Right,
the
like
yurt.
it sounds so decadent and sick and
Yeah.
dope, but it's not.
It sounds like the mouthfeel would be pretty weird, and also the farts afterward would be.
Oh,
pretty
the
bad.
It sounds like a
farts.
more convenient McMuffin,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's not spicy enough. Maybe because it's Scottish.
yeah.
Oh, the Scotch bonnet, very hot.
Scotch bonnet. All right.
You know what else is hot?
These cars, baby.
These cars, baby.
Great
These are some hot
transition.
cars. Hot cars make me piss.
Bring that
That's a
back.
shirt that I pitched. I pitched early on when we first started making shirts.
Hot
I wanted to make
cars.
a shirt that said "Hot cars make me piss," and then it had that weird looking guy from the Six Flags commercials on it.
That was actually a woman playing him.
No, it wasn't. It
wasn't?
No, but it wasn't a weird
Was it
old
a
guy. It
young
was
guy?
like a Eastern European dancer. He was like a Russian dancer. But yeah, still haven't made that shirt. I'm open to making it.
Can't wait to see that in the window display at Zoomies.
Yeah, if some brand wants to, Donut's not interested. Okay, Donut's not interested. They've made it very clear. If some brand like Huff, Fat Lace, Lurker
Market.
Status, Market, any of these other brands want to contact me about the Hot Cars Make Me Piss shirt with the guy from the Six Flags commercial on it, hit us up at passgas@donutmedia.com.
All right. These cars will make you piss, though. Let's talk Tommykaira.
Yeah.
Behind the Tommykaira name are two friends of over 50 years, gentlemen. You got Yoshikazu Tomita, Tom, and Kikuyo Kaira.
Kikuo.
Thank you. According to Speed Hunters, the two are a bit of an odd couple, okay? Kikuyo Kaira is softly spoken, deadpan and witty, and Yoshikazu Tomita is a typical Kansai local, colorful, enthusiastic, and never far from a joke, end quote.
Sounds like both sides of James Pumphrey.
There isn't much on record about either Tomita or Kaira's upbringing, unfortunately, because that would add some
great
color.
That would be a great thing to cover right now.
But we're not going to.
Nope.
Whatever it was that led them to the automotive industry, it stuck. In the 60s, Tomita was the man behind Tomita Auto, a Kyoto-based dealer and distributor of European cars. Inspired by the famous SEL Red Pig, the Mercedes.
I've seen one that used to be in the showroom at the Beverly Hills Mercedes dealership.
And it had purple underpants?
It did not.
Oh. Tomita took his personal 350 SL and upgraded its suspension and steering system. Later, he developed a bolt-on turbocharger kit for the Mercedes SEC called the Turbo Hayate, with a turbo kit company called Bob's Automotive Engineering, or BAE.
BAE. What up, BAE?
I wonder if that's a Japanese company.
Bob's Automotive Engineering. It could be.
Unfortunately, we'll never know. Tomita started importing with AMG in 1980. Remember, he was a car dealer. His specialty was sports cars and even included German tuning house Hartge in his sales portfolio, and he was the first Japanese dealer to do so.
And so this was before AMG merged with Mercedes or got absorbed by them.
Kaira also started off in the automotive industry, but was much more hands-on. He raced in Formula 2 in the mid-70s and later established a reputation as a brilliant engineer and designer in the UK with legendary race car builder Tom Walkinshaw. We've talked about him before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaira even started working with Kojima Racing in Kyoto to help develop their new F1 car, the KE007, for the 1976 Japanese Grand Prix. Kaira was also the chief designer behind the Tom's Dome 84C Le Mans prototype, that really pointy thing in Gran Turismo.
The Dome, yeah.
Well, that's not this car. Sorry.
But if that's the same company.
Same company, though.
Yeah.
Tom's makes legendary Toyota stuff.
Yeah.
And deodorant that doesn't work.
Yeah, and toothpaste that makes your mouth stink.
Let's deal with that.
Yeah. Well, you guys make such cool Toyota race car parts, but then your toothpaste might as well be using Neosporin.
Not good. Tom's had been a Toyota factory-backed operation for decades, and Dome is the company that actually produced the car itself. It was a Toyota-powered monster that did battle alongside the Porsche 956B, the Sauber C7, and other iconic 80s Group C fare. So this car sported a twin-turbo 2-liter turbo engine in the middle of its chassis. It weighed just 2,114 pounds and hit a top speed of 180 miles per.
Wood daily. This thing,
it's pretty cool.
Rules.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love the livery.
Yeah.
Red and gold.
That's cool. In 1984, Kaira began working for Tomita at Tomita Auto, where the fast friends, no pun intended, decided to push their passion for cars even further. In 1986, they founded Tommykaira, a new brand to mark the original products of Tomita Auto Company and to work as both tuners and manufacturers of high-performance vehicles. They chose a rather unusual symbol for their joint project, a stylized turtle embossed with the texture of an air filter.
This thing is sick.
What?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's like we were talking about in the Big Three when like a big guy is named Tiny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, isn't it funny that we got a turtle as our
That's pretty cool.
logo?
The logo represents the entire professional journey of the two men who, after many slow years of hard work, finally achieved their dream. And while Tommykaira's beginnings didn't yet resemble what would help it achieve legendary status a few years later, it certainly set the stage.
I love that logo.
That's
Yeah.
Big thanks to Onyx Off-Road for sponsoring this episode of Past Gas. Onyx Off-Road is the most trusted off-roading and snowmobiling app for those who like to travel off pavement, find hidden trails, and camp where nobody's watching. Onyx helps you see what you're getting into with pictures, descriptions, difficulty ratings, and open and close dates. With 3 membership tiers, you're sure to find something that works for you. The free app includes satellite, topo, and hybrid maps, as well as the ability to track your trips. But upgrade to premium, and you'll be able to download unlimited offline maps, featured trails, but one of my favorite features on Onyx Elite is the ability to look up private land ownership. That means you can look up all the land that is owned and you're not supposed to go on, and then the rest is free to explore. It's really a cool app. I use it when I'm off-roading. I think you should too. So check out Onyx Off-Road. It takes out all the guesswork from planning an adventure, even when your plan isn't so planned. Download Onyx Off-Road today to get a free 2-week trial of Onyx Elite. Big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode of Past Gas. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Look, we all carry around different stressors, big and small. Anything can set you off, whether it's someone in traffic that cuts you off. We all have stress, and that affects us negatively. One way to get rid of that stress is talking to someone. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. I think everyone should do therapy at some point in their life. It's honestly just talking to someone. This is the easiest way to get some of these stressors off your chest and find a healthy solution. And I think BetterHelp is a really good way to get into therapy if you've never done it before. So if you're starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. You don't have to wait in a waiting room. It's designed to be convenient and flexible, work with your schedule. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/PastGas today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PastGas. Thanks, BetterHelp.
What better place to start than with a brand that Tomita had been professionally acquainted with over the years? Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, I was going to say McDonald's.
In 1987, Tommykaira's 2 introductory models were the M19 and the M30E, based on the popular Mercedes-Benz W201 generation, 190E, and W124 generation 300E. So 190E, same car as the Cosworth Group A cars.
Okay.
And then 300E, which is bigger. The 190E, the brand's diminutive sedan, was the perfect candidate for some power and chassis massaging. After all, it saw extensive service in Germany's legendary DTM, or Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft.
Go.
I just said that a million times while filming the E30 build.
Oh, yeah.
And normally I would have been like, oh, God, guys. But I saw that long thing. I was like, let's go. Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft. For the M19, Tommykaira took the W201 and created a bespoke front and rear bumper, 16-inch BBS mesh wheels, prominent spoiler, and added Tommykaira badging, as well as a small plaque, indicating its serial model and serial number. Under the hood, its 2-liter 4-cylinders compression was bumped to 10-1, and hotter cams were installed. The cylinder head was ported and polished for better flow, and Toto Racing exhaust and manifold was bolted on.
Ooh.
Are you a big Toda fan?
Well, there's a certain Toda header for the B18 that everybody copies, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's like $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you want one.
Well, yeah, but it'd be worth more than the car,
Yeah.
basically. So that's
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
really
but
smart.
Toda, hit us up.
Yeah.
Toda. Nolan needs a header.
Dude,
Having one of these would be really sweet. I really want like an old Mercedes.
Yes, I know. The like 280 little coupe from the 80s, you know what I'm talking about? They're always blue.
Yeah.
I really want one of those. I know it's a bad idea, though.
Yeah, always a bad idea. All said and done, output went from a modest 113 to 150 horsepower.
Nice.
And the Benz's stock 4-speed automatic and rear drive was retained. What? Though the M19 was produced in a very limited quantity and only for the Japanese market, somehow a 1989 model was sold for only $15,500 on Bring a Trailer in 2022.
What? Don't make me FOMO in this.
Okay, so it's got BBS RSs.
I love the seats. Oh my gosh. They almost look like carbon fiber. They're heavily pleated and
It's
not
like a
super
Pasha.
buckets. Yeah.
It's like a Pasha checkerboard.
Yeah. Gosh dang.
Gosh dang, man. Those are cool
dang.
seats. Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, I really like how these cars look.
Yeah. Man, that's a lucky son of
be
a gun right
such a
there. Got
flex to
that
have
for
this thing,
15
dude.
grand.
You got that for 15 grand? Lucky son of a gun.
Way to bring it into today's perspective.
Yeah, way to make us feel bad about who we are today.
Apparently, this car is in San Francisco right now.
Is
Why?
it?
According to the comments
Let's
on
go.
the Bring
Get it.
trailer.
The M30E, built from a W124300E, had more power, baby. Its engine was upgraded from making 185 horsepower to 225 horsepower from its naturally aspirated inline six, which got similar performance work as the M19. Where the 190E was Benz's scrappy, twisty road compact, the 300E was its bigger Autobahn storming coupe.
Cool.
While there are some mild exterior changes and badging on the M19 in particular, it follows a similar formula as, say, Roof, enough to differentiate itself but still fly under the radar of non-enthusiasts.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a nice little silver stripe down the side, and I feel like these wheels on here, they're like a 8-spoke, but kind of like twisted a little bit, like a saw blade, if you will.
Directional turbine style.
Yes, wonderful. I feel like the R32 we drove had wheels like that as well.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. And they're color matched.
Yeah.
This thing's cool too.
After Tommykaira's foray into German cars, the team decided to shift their focus towards domestic Japanese cars. The late 80s and early 90s are well known as a period of economic boom for Japan, with many iconic performance vehicles coming off the assembly line at the time. If you want to know more about that, we got a lot of other episodes.
Yeah, find it yourself.
I think the Midnight Club episodes
Yeah.
are probably a good,
Sure.
good starting point, so check that out. This also meant that the brand could come up with some cohesive design elements that set its cars apart. Besides swapping automakers' badging for its own, larger wheels with thicker multi-spokes are a common Tommykaira design element. So are redesigned front ends for better airflow, upgraded rear spoilers, larger diameter and often square exhaust tips. That's a nice little trademark.
Yeah, nice. So especially on a Merc.
Yeah. What? Branded interior accoutrement, signature red gauges, a green painted engine panel.
Nice.
And often a gray stripe along the vehicle's main body line.
This is the kind of stuff I like.
little touches.
Go look at that car out there. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. If there's one area where design language carried over from the brand's experience with Mercedes, it was stealth. For the most part, Tommykaira tuned vehicles don't feature massive fender upgrades or gigantic wings, but tend to look tastefully, mildly tuned. Dignified, not bombastic, James.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like
adding your
dignified.
guys' names under the
That's
end of
cool, man.
sentences.
You do you.
It's not to like say anything.
No.
Yeah.
No, it feels more conversational
Yeah.
when you do it.
That's
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
makes
trying to
me
do
feel
here.
included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean, sleek, and under the radar, except for those who are in the know.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
your
shit.
weird friend will be like, hey, check that out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like-
check that out.
Do you see that Tommykaira Chevy Avia over there?
I haven't seen one of those in so long.
It popped up on, I'm researching rebadged cars. And I think it
okay.
was like a,
A Mazda, right?
Daewoo or something.
Daihatsu, maybe?
Daihatsu, yeah.
Or Daewoo. Probably Daewoo.
Yeah, Chevy owns Daewoo, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
The timing was perfect for embracing all the extra cool stuff hitting the showroom floor in Japan. Over the years, Tommykaira production ranged from minivans such as the Plio and the Cube,
Hell yeah.
going through the March or the Micra in the States, then the Forester, the Sema, can't see me, John Sema, the Sylvia, and the Stagia. Dude, Tommykaira Sylvia.
The Stagia is my favorite.
Yeah.
Stagia is cool.
That's like the GTR wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a millennial pick.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take a Sylvia.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged.
Jimmy just bought a Sylvia.
He did.
Yeah,
I'm very
S13?
excited. Yeah.
Dude, he got a steal on it too.
We'll see when it shows up.
Yep, yeah.
We look under it.
Forester. Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah, that Forrester's cool.
I like that.
And
a
the
lot.
Tommykaira signature is really big on the side.
I know.
Whew.
That signature's big. It's like John Hancock.
I'm going to need a towel.
Between the sleek Z32 Generation 300ZX and potent all-wheel drive Skyline badges, there were plenty of excellent foundations for high-performance tuning to choose from. The late 80s Z car is still a thing of beauty to this day, especially in a twin-turbo V6 variant. And Tommykaira's take, the M30Z, might be even better.
Oh, mama.
Towel, please.
That's sick.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Again with the wheels.
Yeah, the wheels.
I love those wheels, man.
Yeah.
Just slightly off center spokes. Give it a little
a
turbine.
little bit of turbine-y.
Yeah.
They took the already beloved Nissan 300ZX Sports Coupe and got to work.
Let's get to work.
To boost output, the brand installed a tuned ECU, HKS intake, and upgraded sidebound intercoolers for better flow. On the other end, a less restrictive exhaust system was installed. All of this netted 350 horsepower on the conservative end, which is up from the factory rating of 300. As far as its exterior and interior go, it got the normal go-over. Improved interior comfort, a modest spoiler, a better flowing front bumper, better looking wheels, and other minor accents, plus square exhaust tips.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Guys, I feel like I could do a Tommykaira. Can you still start companies like this?
Yeah. You got to know a lot, though. Not saying you don't, but like.
But what do you got to know? How to put on an exhaust?
No,
Check.
but like how to source fabric and how to like.
I know how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to the sheep outside.
Yeah, how many? They're not
the
selling
old-
a ton
the
of
Oh, I
old
these.
forgot we're in
Manscaped.
Auckland.
Yeah.
And you could just walk
Yeah.
outside and shear a
I
sheep.
use my Manscaped trimmer to do that.
Also, you don't want hot wool.
Yeah, you do.
In Los Angeles,
Wool.
You want wool? Wool's nice.
you don't want wool seats.
My seats are wool.
You have AC though.
You are just blindly.
Sorry, I'm just trying to
shitting
be
on my-
negative.
Yeah.
You can start your own company. You'll
I'm
probably
just
be
saying.
really
I'm
successful.
saying it's like, design a bumper. Hey,
Yeah.
exhaust, intake. It's not like they're.
They're not.
It's a style brand.
designing adjustable control arms or
Yeah,
things where it's
they're
like, okay, we kind
sourcing
of have to
stuff.
know what
Yeah.
like a
and
geometry
they're
is.
using HKS parts too.
It's
so
like, do you
can-
want a car that looks cool? I'll make it look cool for
Yeah,
you,
and put
then
my
I'll
name
put
on
my
it.
freaking name
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
my
that's pretty cool.
dream.
bump it up 50 horsepower?
Yeah,
It's my dream.
yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I'll put this on it.
There you go. There you go.
But the brand's work on the Z32 pales in comparison to the amount of time spent on every Skyline generation, especially since these R32. First and foremost, Tommykaira was well known for doing OEM upgrade type of work. This meant they would massage a lower tier GTST trim specs to nearly match the top dog GTR.
Oh,
That's cool to me.
okay.
I like the GTST because it's rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Known as the M20 and M30, each possessed a power plant that put out a healthier amount of horsepower, around 250 and 280 respectively.
That's not bad.
They also got the signature Tommykaira chassis exterior and interior work as well. Tomita later said the 1991 350 horsepower Z32 M30Z was the first production car to reach 180 miles per hour in the Yatabe ring.
Oh.
Tommykaira went to town tuning the various generation GTRs too. Naturally, the legendary R32 generation got the Tommykaira treatment, dubbed the Tommykaira R,
Yeah.
and only 400 were produced, and I drove one of them. We discussed one of these rare birds in an older donut video starring my friend Byron Bowers. You should check it out.
Yeah. That was
He also has some very funny stand-up specials.
He's so funny,
my
dude.
favorite
Just
comic.
being around him, you're like, how is like 99% of what you say so funny?
I know. What's that like? There was also the R33 Skyline GTR full spec R, which signified the brand's top level of tuning. It offered 3 levels of tuning, ranging from basic looks package to the less basic package to the full spec R. Up there, power was bumped from 276 to 400 horsepower, which was a very mighty number in the early 90s.
Dude, okay, so when we did the drove every GTR video, like R33 I think was my favorite.
Yeah.
This guy right here,
Yeah.
I'm liking everything I'm seeing on there.
Yeah. I mean, they say 276 stock, but it wasn't really.
It was
270.
more than that,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like 320
This
ish.
thing rules,
Very
though.
cool. Love those wheels.
So anyway, that thing rivaled Nissan's very rare 400R trim. Then there was the R34 generation GTR-based Tommykaira RS. This wing looks sick.
The gold
Very
wheels.
neat.
God.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
The
those wheels are
listeners
sick. I love
listening
a
to this
60.
right now,
Those
you're just
bumpers
gonna
really
have to bear
cool.
with us because there's cool pictures in this
The
one.
bumper, I will say, is like Evo 8-esque, Evo 7-esque, but still very, very
In
cool.
the valve cover, red
Yeah.
wrinkle,
I love that.
powder
Red
coat.
wrinkle. That's what I'm going to call my moles.
Red
eventually.
wrinkle.
Ew.
So the Tommykaira R34 RS rivaled that generation's factory Nismo trim and performance. But this was accomplished in a different way through extensive in-house engine and suspension work. As far as our writer could tell, Tommykaira produced only 100 R34s with only 35 top-level RS variants. Yet these seem to sell for substantially less than Nismo's at auction.
What?
Also, dude, I could source fabric for 100 cars. That's like 700 yards of fabric.
It's a lot of fabric.
I love that that's the least of what you have to do.
Not for them.
This is like the most offense that James has ever taken.
Have you seen my car?
I'm trying to light a fire under your butt. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to
right.
discourage you.
Well, guess who's discouraged? Yeah, maybe you can't get a plus
Maybe,
one at my reveal of
Joe,
it.
maybe try sourcing some fabric sometime and see
Yeah,
how
I
it
do.
goes.
Maybe
Yeah.
try sourcing
I
fabric.
literally
sometime.
just ordered a bunch of hats and jerseys, and it was
yeah.
such a pain in the ass. And I didn't have to source anything. I went to the spot and ordered it.
Well, maybe I should try sourcing some fabric sometime.
Yeah, maybe you should try sourcing some
I'll
fabric.
just give it a shot.
sometime. But Tommykaira's focus creations didn't stop at Nissan. Several late 90s and early 2000s Subaru badges got its special treatment as well, particularly the Legacy.
Oh, I was like, hey, that's nice.
The Legacy.
Legacy.
Oh, this thing rules.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like those front
Wow.
bumper. I like those front bumper.
Full wagon.
So it looks like in this era they've switched from the like turbo multi-spoke to this like kind of cool six-spoke.
Yeah, 6-spoke,
which is
very cool.
I like
This looks like it's got a top rank license plate on it, which means they imported one, and that means someone here in the U.S. has this car somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe top rank.
Maybe top rank. Dude, that's sick. I love the little winglet on the
The wing
before
is
the rear
really
wheel. That's
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
They
This is so
also
cool.
tuned a Bug-Eye Impreza. Each got the standard treatment, including those blocky multi-spoke wheels, but the Impreza was an especially cool proposition. Dubbed the M20B22. That's good looking.
That's a good looking
Their
car.
attention to detail is so good.
Yeah, go look at my car. I could do this.
He could source the fabric.
Dude, I could source the fabric. I can name a thing. They're
Okay.
just using letters
Yeah.
and numbers.
You could probably name it better, actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, custom bumper with bigger openings for cooling, a sleek motorsports-inspired ring, pronounced rear bumper and side skirts, and naturally a healthy bump in power, baby. Output was rated around 350 horsepower, which was a massive boost during the early 2000s era, and even surpassed the facelifted top-level STI of the same generation. Yeah, I mean, in the 2000s, like tunes and stuff were nowhere near what they are now. Like tuning, like I saw somebody made a TikTok about what was it, the APRFC?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was like this little computer that like every modified car had. And it was like every car had it. And it was just kind of like you could kind of tune with it. But now you just get a laptop and some guy in Australia can tune your car. Like
that always trips me out. It's like, yeah, my guy's over in Georgia. He's going to tune it and then send the file back. And then the car runs great. It's like, how do you,
like tuning now is, I don't know if it's not talked about
It's
enough.
like hacking.
Dude, it's like such a awesome thing.
Very cool skill to have.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about skills a lot.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I was going to say the same thing.
I don't know how to do it.
I was in the shop last week working on the Ranger with Joby and Mike Day. I'm just like, these guys.
Dude, talk about skilled guys.
Know how to do it.
Yeah.
That's a bad benchmark, though, because those guys are exceptionally skilled.
Because there's a difference, I think, between, obviously, big difference between just like build, like doing a build and doing like fabrication.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I'm at the point now where I can do most of the bolt-on stuff here.
But then you see Mikey fab up a roll cage and you're like, what?
Yeah,
How did you?
How the frick?
I bought my airbox for my BMW from a store, and Mike developed it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like Mike E-Day developed that.
Yeah. What a guy.
Yeah.
And he's super humble, too. Like, barely talks.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Indeed for sponsoring this episode of Pass Gas. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And I can tell you, as someone who hires people all the time, it takes a long time to sift through everything. When you have the tools that Indeed provides you with, it makes it so much easier. Things go way quicker and you find the best candidates. That's why I like Indeed so much for hiring. And listeners of the show will get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/passgas. Just go to Indeed.com/passgas right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/passgas. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Big thanks to Fume for sponsoring this episode of Pass Gas. Ever tried to break a bad habit and felt like you're climbing Everest in flip-flops? Yeah, we've been there too. But there's a breath of fresh air. Fume. It's not about giving up, it's about switching up. Fume takes your habit and simply makes it better, healthier, and a whole lot more enjoyable. Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. As someone with like a hand-to-mouth fixation, I touch my face a lot. Fume is great because it does give you the satisfaction, but it's all the good stuff, it's none of the bad stuff. So start the year off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/past and getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 10% off when they use my code PAST, P-A-S-T, to help make starting the good habit that much easier. Thanks, Fume.
As is on brand for every other prominent tuning house across the globe, Tommykaira developed and produced an entirely in-house creation for the mid-90s called the ZZ. No top.
ZZ top.
Well, with help from some friends, okay? It was powered by a Nissan SR20DE, James.
Naturally aspirated.
Nice. 4-cylinder from its Silvia contemporary without the turbo. And yes, this is the ZZ from Gran Turismo 2. My God. Just looked at the picture. Good Lord. First and foremost, let's get this out of the way, okay? It looks like a little happy frog. And people often say the Series 1 Lotus Elise also resembles a happy frog, and even mistakenly call the ZZ an Elise ripoff. But let's get something clear. It's not a ripoff.
It's not a ripoff.
It's a rip-on.
It's a rip-on. The ZZ actually went to market a few months before the Elise, in fact. And Kaira later told Road and Track that the emergence of the Elise was proof that he and Tomita were onto something. He went further, stating, quote,
Japanese sports cars are okay, but they have too much technology and lack character. I wanted to build a simple and exciting sports car, like from the old days. Oh, yeah.
Like the Elise, the ZZ was mid-engine and focused on being as light as possible, the latter of which the two craftsmen took from one of their other heroes, Colin Chapman. On the ZZ, Tomita recently said, quote,
I believe that lightness was the strongest weapon. Back then, Japan was in a horsepower war, so the speed generated from the lightweight sports car was very inspiring. Handling, braking, and acceleration all come together and give the driver pleasure.
Pleasure. Tommykaira set up shop in the United Kingdom to build the ZZ. Tomita wanted to lean in on the country's experience with building lightweight sports cars out of fiberglass and aluminum and access to the network of suppliers built up around Lotus in Norfolk.
If it is in England, then they definitely call it the ZZ.
Yeah. As Andy Willman said while presenting the ZZ in an episode of Top Gear,
Mr. Kara's hero was Colin Chapman, so it's kind of appropriate that he's not going to build this in Japan. He's going to build it in Norfolk. It's funny, isn't it? Honda, Toyota, Nissan, they've all come to Britain to teach us how to build volume cars. This guy, he's coming to Britain because he loves the way we build specialist cars.
hell yeah. It's a classic case of the best working with the best. Japanese engineering in the birthplace of small, lightweight sports cars. The ZZ was a love letter to the lightweight engagement, sporting a fiberglass body, open-top design, and mid-engine chassis. It was brilliantly simple, and an interesting departure from the cars that Tommykaira had gained prominence for tuning. By comparison, the contemporary R32 and R33 Skylines were heavy, technologically advanced, and quite complex for their era. Still, Tommykaira was all about a return to what makes for good handling and fun motoring, putting on leather gloves. Producing around 190 horsepower, yet only 1,400 or so pounds light.
That's a fun car.
This thing ripped from 0 to 60 in just 4 seconds. Everyone who drove it loved it. Recently, Road and Track writer Chris Perkins said, quote,
The front of the Tommykaira might be one of its best attributes. Turn the wheel and the ZZ darts into the corner immediately. This a rare instance of go-kart-esque handling actually applying here. The engine is surprisingly friendly too, with lots of low to mid-range torque and an exhaust note that's the right amount of rude. Strangely, you don't really hear much of the characteristic honk of an engine with individual throttle bodies, but this is hardly a problem.
For a second, I thought he was
Honk, honk.
worried about like the honk of the steering
horn,
wheel.
But you're not. He's not.
we don't talk about horns enough.
Yeah.
No, not enough. Well, listen next week.
Yeah. Overall, Tommykaira sold 200 ZZs for about 5 million yen each. Oh,
Hell
my
yeah.
goodness. That's around $33,000 or $63K in today's money. Tommykaira planned to develop a second generation ZZ, the ZZ2, which would have had a much livelier turbocharged power plant, but sadly never went into production. Only one prototype model is currently in existence.
And if you buy, for every shirt that you buy at donutmedia.com, you get one entry into winning it. Everything Tommykaira did emphasized improving factory performance cars, but added their own functional / beautiful exterior flair and signature interior amenities to boot. It makes sense too. Tomita and Kaira were both born massive gearheads, with all the background and knowing that they could take each car a step further. As far as where the Tommykaira brand's been since the early 2000s, there isn't much to report. For most of its existence, Japan's, quote, lost decade was going on, essentially a 10-year economic recession. By the early 2000s, business just got too tough, and it got bought out by major parts retail chain Autobox. While under this ownership, it looks like the name was changed to Rowan,
Boo.
and now takes the form of high-end aftermarket bodywork and exhaust company. Recently, there have been some late-model exhaust systems with Tommykaira branding on them, which is, like, smart.
Yeah.
Why buy a name if you're not going to use it? However, in early 2022, Yoshikazu Tomita announced he had been working on a line of Tommykaira ZZ2s. Though this hasn't fully come to fruition yet, we're hoping for the return of this iconic brand.
Now I really want to drive one of those ZZs.
I bet I wouldn't fit.
That's true.
Yeah.
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 Cool. We got some listener mail.
Yeah. Hey, gassers. First of all, thank you for carrying the automotive media torch as my favorite three. Clarkson, May, and Hammond wind down their careers.
Thanks, man.
You make my commutes much more interesting, and the D-List is my favorite show. Keep up the excellent work.
Cool.
I did want to make one small correction to your last Mazda episode.
Okay.
You guys had a field day with the term balls out and seemed to imply it was a phrase meant that one would literally pull their balls out as a sign of dominance.
Yeah.
The reality of the term is much more innocuous.
Okay.
Originally a railroad engineering term, it refers to the mechanical governor found on steam locomotives. It uses two weighted steel balls for levers.
Okay.
Balls out means the full out position for maximum speed, quite risky on railroad curves or in populated areas.
All right. I like that still.
I like
Yeah.
that better.
Yeah, I actually do, because now I'm imagining some old-timey train guys.
Yeah, balls out.
I'll go balls out.
No,
Yeah.
there's a curve and there's people on the curve.
I said balls out, damn it.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff I like to know.
I know, this is great. Ironically, your interpretation of balls out is also dangerous in populated areas, and I think you guys got the spirit of it. Keep it juiced. Much love from Wisconsin,
Hey,
Drew.
This Drew
Wisconsin,
guy's
baby.
all right.
Yeah, I like you, Drew.
Yeah, I like you, Drew.
Good thing you're
Thank
not
you,
from
Drew.
Milwaukee. Or,
All right, and thank you
Minnesota.
guys for listening to this podcast. Tell your friends about it. It's the best way to spread the news. Give us a review. Follow us on wherever you listen to it. Check out our other podcast, The Big Three, where we tackle more timely, up-to-date news stories in the automotive world.
Yeah, we have fun on that show every week, man.
We do.
Gotta listen to it if you haven't already. What are you doing if you're not?
Yeah, go to Zoomies, get yourself some donut apparel.
And this is the last chance to get tickets for our live show May 25th at Dynasty Typewriter.
Go get them.
Tickets are going quick, so get them up.
Get them up. All right, big thank you to Christina Felsky, Gavin Kinzel, Nick Giamuso, and
Peter Nelson.
Peter Nelson. All right. See you next time.